Ripping and rolling, and we YouTubing and Facebooking. And by the way, we are apparently got our 1,000 plus, and so we may be able to do something with YouTube now or whatever.
That's right. So I think, again, I'm not sure how it works, but probably on the YouTube replays when they go watch, there's going to be ads now.
Excellent. And they might give us money for that?
So generate some type of revenue.
Oh my God. Well, we'll talk about it. Anyway, howdy. Greetings. Happy 2 days after Christmas. It's only me. It's only the Kimmer. The Kimmer Show podcast with Pete Davis, sidekick, producer, and sports raconteur extraordinaire, and the mechanical mangler at the controls, Flounder at El Floundo Condo with our podcast studio, and Lucas the Podcat. In fact, when I got in the parking, I'm always here early, and so I sit out in the parking lot and kind of get my thoughts together and take some notes and stuff before I come barging in the door. And so while I was out there, I took some video of. By the way, this is Tuesday. The 27th of December, and we're doing a show Thursday this week. That we have a 2-day schedule this week. Anyway, so I'm sitting out there before I come in, and I get video of this freaking squirrel is as big as a cat. I mean, just enormous. And I thought it was kind of weird, and so I put the video up on the podcast Facebook page. And we just got a message from Cindy with a Y, and it says, squirrel, with an X, which is fairly amusing. She's definitely a long-time listener, and our compatriot. And also, I put video up of Lucas the Podcat, who jumped up on our desk, Pete, before you got here a few minutes ago. Yeah. He was going through the computer, the keyboard. He went into the thing here and stuff, and it was pretty funny. He still won't let me pet him. He'll sniff my hand, but if I go to pet him, he's gone. He wants nothing to do with it. So anyway, okay, Tuesday the 27th, podcast number 515. And we got a million things. We'll talk about Christmas and traditions and how was it and anything happened, anything good or bad or whatever, and talk about it. And when do we take down decorations and the tree? And now we got New Year's coming up. And it's Christmas week. It's kind of a holiday week. We'll talk about all that kind of stuff. I also have a lot of newsy stuff. We'll do some year in review things I have already. And I assume we'll do some more later in the week as we get toward New Year's Eve. And so we get some of that stuff. Also, well, a reminder of something I mentioned. Remember last week, I think it was a week ago, might have been 2 weeks ago. I was telling you the story of when I was in my freshman year in college, and I drove to Philadelphia to see my girlfriend over the Christmas break, and we were making out, and I was hoping to kind of, because I was a virgin, and so was she. We're hoping to kind of go all the way, and she asked me not to, and so I stopped like a gentleman. Do you remember that story?
I remember that story.
Well, her picture is now on the podcast Facebook page. I found a picture of her from 1965, and I posted it on the Kimmer Show podcast Facebook page. So you can see, and her name is, we called her Mimi. I called her Mimi. And I won't give you her last name. And again, this was 1965, and she actually was much prettier than her picture. But I found that, and I thought, oh, my God, and I'll give you an update, because I just thought of part 2 to that story to show what an idiot I was and how times have so changed that I gave up the opportunity a second time. But sorry, no, that's all right. Anyway, okay, first, boys, notice this funny bag over here. My lovely daughter, Jennifer, the clockhead, who may be listening. Of course, it's early out there. We're doing a little show earlier than normal today. Anyway, she, among other things, for Christmas time, she sent me a bunch of, well, let's take them apart here, of Christmas Hostess cakes, and including the sticks, which I've never seen before. Is that incredible?
Christmas Nutty
Buddies, and they're the Christmas cake. You know, the host. What are they? Hostess or no? Dilly Dally or Sarah? Little Debbie Christmas cakes. And so she sent a whole bunch more of those. And so I got a bunch. So I'm giving you a whole bunch of them. So Flounder and Pete, between the two of you, and these are like dunking sticks.
They're Nutty Buddies.
Nutty Buddies, but they're the Christmas cake thing. So anyway, there you are. By the way, I hate. In fact, happened the other day. I keep forgetting. I'm going to show you a picture up close in my hand. Hold on. Can you see that? Yep. Okay. You see that black? I keep forgetting.
You just gave the audience the back of your hand.
I know. I'm so sorry. Fango, scusa tomato, fish tutti, bacalao. Remember, my starter wife was Italian. Her mother's name is Parmi. Chanfrini. And her husband's name, my first stepfather-in-law, was Gregorio Russo. So, I mean, Chanfrinis and Russos all the way. Anyway, I have no idea why I was talking about her. I have no idea. I have no freaking idea. Anyway, this thing here. Oh, it was because I was given Italian things. Scusa, tomate, bacala. And we would talk at the dinner table. Her parents would trick me. Anyway, I might have mentioned this. The last time I saw Zohar, the beautiful black Frisian up at the stable, the day he was leaving to go to a new stable with his sister Slashy, the white mare. It was such a good value. Facebook video fans will know who I'm talking about. And on his last day, I went to give him a treat, and he was so worked up and so excited, he actually bit me by mistake. He went for it so fast, and so I'm going to lose that nail. But anyway, but I keep forgetting that I have that big black part, and it looks, when you first see it, if I'm like signing something or reaching for something, I realize, oh crap, they can see it, and it looks like just a big gross, like it's rotting off my hand or something. It's disgusting, and I can't cut me. What do I do? Put a Band-Aid on it? It's never going to get any better. I mean, I'm just hoping the freaking nail comes off so I can start over.
That sucks that happened to you.
Well, but again, it's so ugly, and I'm trying to be self-conscious so I don't gross people. Anyway, whatever. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I got a surprise bill. I got a text this morning about 4:00 this morning, and it says, "This is the ear, nose, and throat clinic, and we see you have an outstanding bill here of about." Oh, did you get? What did you get?
What is he eating? He picked something up off the counter, and it looks like a tie.
Podcat.
Looks like a tie.
Is it a plastic thing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why he wasn't sweating. He was just chewing like a goof. Flounder. Kitty cat.
I'm on you.
Anyway, so a surprise bill, and I texted back. I said, "This is the first I've heard of this. I always pay, when I go to the place, you pay your bill, and then they say, your combustible compatriot thing there is $50 or what? I don't know what the hell that phrase is. Your copay is $50, whatever." And it showed me what I was responsible for. And anyway, here we go. And my brand new ear rocket. Once again, they work half the time. Anyway. Okay, now. Some happy things. Flounder, over here. We have these things for you guys. Also, Flounder, I got in the mail. And again, this was from Denise. How to talk to your cat about gun safety. I think this is from Denise. In fact, I'm not even sure who this is from. I'm not even sure if it had a note in it. Wait a minute.
It's important stuff.
Here's the page. Maybe it has something on here. USPS Old Milton, recycled paper. From Amazon, and it doesn't have a name on it. So, wait a minute, Lucas. It's for delivered to Lucas the Podcat. So, anyway, there you are. There's your book on gun safety for cats.
Next, credit cards.
Let's see what else we got. Oh, a couple of thank yous. May I do a couple of quick thank yous? One, first of all, from Cindy with a Y, by the way, who also just said squirrel when I sent the video on. She said, I haven't sent out Christmas cards in years and just let it kind of slip my mind. Wanted to get one before it was too late, which is so sweet. Anyway, to you, Pete Flounder, and I want to wish all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year from Cindy with a Y, which I thought was very sweet. Also, from Johnny, oh my God. I can't. I forgot to write down the first name. I hate this because I didn't bring the envelope, and I can't read her first name. Can you read that first name?
Yes, I can.
Okay, what is it? You don't want to share it with us, or
Tamara looks like.
I think that's what it is.
And John?
And yeah.
Or it's Gamera, the giant Japanese turtle.
I think so.
Gamera.
Anyway, and it's a very nice Christmas card. Kim, Pete Flounder, and Lucas the kitty have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thanks for keeping me entertained while I work. And I'm so embarrassed that I usually, when I write thank you notes, of course, I make sure I have the envelope so I get the address and the names and everything. But anyway, thank you. We'll put this over here with our Christmas selection. There you are. Now, what else? What else we got here? I got a little sports thing, a good thing here. Okay, quick reminder. Again, we have issues, topics, stuff like that. Thank you, our Venmo friends, Bill H. Sent us a very nice donation and said, Merry Christmas, Kimmer, Pete Flounder, and the gang. He said, Mom, who met you at the baseball game, and I drove all day. I remember a guy with his mom. I met him in the parking lot there at the ball game. We had a lot of fun. In fact, we should do that again in the spring. If we're still,
Yeah, we said that last year.
yeah. Well, we went once. I mean, we did. We went.
2 years ago.
Was that 2 years ago?
Yes.
We should go. We
Wait
should
a
do
minute.
this.
Was that 2 years ago?
Because we blew off Gwinnett this year.
Yeah, we
didn't
should
do
do
it.
the Stripers game
God.
in the springtime. That's
Yeah,
what we should
yeah.
do.
We should.
Well, let's. Yeah, we should. Yeah, we should do
We'll
that.
do that. We'll do that. We'll get right on that.
Staff.
We call the
Quit eating
promotions
flowers.
department.
Kitty. Anyway, so thank you, Bill H. Also, Fred J. He said for making my day complete, which I think is very nice. And Craig B. Also a nice donation and a very nice note here too. And I thought this was cool. Among my horse, I went on a Christmas Day. I went up and did some horse stuff. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, and I put some videos on there, and we got a very nice note on the podcast Facebook page from Suzanne. I assume it's pronounced Suzanne Grice. I assume that's how it's pronounced. North of Sweden.
Sweden? She's in
I
Lapland?
was going to say, I said, I think Santa has a condo up there.
Is she with the
She just said north of Sweden.
Sami up there in Lapland?
That's like, that's reindeer
Reindeers.
territory. Yeah. And in fact, and it was kind of, speaking of reindeer, it reminded me, and I put this memory on Facebook. I'm not making this up. When I was a little boy, I couldn't have been 5 or 6 years old. So this had to be 1951 or 2, something like that. Early 50s. And my older brother and I'm not sure my sister was even born yet. But anyways, I was a little boy, and my father and mother took us to the Catskill Game Farm. Mountains of Catskills, in the Catskills of New York State. Took us to the Catskills Game Farm, and at the time, my father was smoking Chesterfield cigarettes. My mother was smoking Parliament or Benson and Hedges. And so my father gave us his Chesterfield cigarettes to feed to the reindeer. We through the gate. I mean, they were right. And by the way, if you've never seen a reindeer, they have horns in the middle of their forehead. I mean, they're huge branches, look like trees growing out of their heads. I mean, it's amazing that they can walk around. I mean, you'd think they would fall over they're huge. Anyway, and we would literally feed unfiltered Chesterfield cigarettes to the reindeer through the gate, through the fence. Well, I had to be 1951 or 52.
So those reindeer are jonesing after you left for their tobacco hide.
And I remember saying, is this okay? Or who knew to feed tobacco? But it's a plant. Yeah. And paper's a tree, so I don't know. But it was a damnedest thing. And I had the funniest memory of feeding cigarettes to the reindeer.
They didn't have
Christmas.
Bags of nuts or anything you could have
I have no
purchased?
That's all I remember. I don't remember if we had anything else or how we got there or anything of it. I swear to God, I remember that as clear as day. Very, very funny. Okay. Christmas Day. Pete? Christmas weekend.
I don't want to talk about it.
All right. Flounder, are you... now, come on. Oh, all right. Flounder?
I had a good. I went to my dad's on Christmas Eve, and we ordered Chinese and wrapped presents for Hank and Hannah.
What are you, Jewish?
You know, did you see
Chinese.
Mike Rose, our former coach? I can't remember his name now. Mikey, and he made a point of saying, "Well, we're going to go shopping for Chinese food on Christmas Eve, like all the Jewish people do," which I guess is a thing.
Yeah, because we were going to grill some steaks up, but it was so cold we didn't want to go in and out of the house, and so. We did Chinese, and when my dad went to pick it up, he said the place was packed.
I'm sure of it. Yeah, I had a Chinese food right near where I lived in Florida when I was retired. Oh, it was the best combination fried rice I've had to this day. I can't find another place. I love Chinese food if it's good Chinese food. Most of it's crap. Anyway,
where do you normally order? Do you do P.F. Chang's, or where do you normally order from?
I just order, what I get in the mailbox of, we deliver Chinese, American Chinese food, or Uncle Sam's Chinese, or Bing Bang, or Ming Lee.
Canton Cooks is good.
Whatever's around, I'll put Chinese places near me or deliver or something. Right. So I'm kind of limited. Anyway, okay. Well, Pete, on my Christmas Day, I actually. This was not a chore at all. Every year, Jenny, who runs the joint up at the stable, asks for volunteers on Christmas Day so that the staff can take at least a half a day off, so they don't have to do the chores all, because it's a 7-day, 24-hour day thing working with animals, and especially horses. And especially when the weather's cold, the ice buckets froze, so they had to be chopped out. And I mean, it was really just a lot of stuff. Anyway, so she asked for volunteers. And so obviously I said, well, hell, I'd be happy to do it. So I went up there, and one of my favorite things in the world is leading horses in from the pastures into their stall, just leading the horses and hearing the clippity-clop as they're on your show. I mean, honestly, it's like freaking
Simple pleasure.
It's heaven. And some of them, I put a couple of videos on there where I just didn't say anything, and I heard the clippity-clop of the horses walking. And it's just, honestly, there's nothing like it. Anyway, and it was hardly a chore. I mean, it was fun. I mean, but that was how I spent my Christmas afternoon, and it was rewarding. I enjoyed it, and so it made me feel
Glad you had a good day.
All right, well, Pete, I feel bad now because there must have been a thing there.
Glad you two had wonderful times.
Oh,
I really do.
all right.
Because I had a wonderful time.
Did you?
I went to my sister's place up there, and her and her boyfriend, and we had a wonderful family. Had the 1-year-old, 2-year-old, and 4-year-old running around, jumping on top of me, beating up on Uncle Pete.
Uncle Pete, just having a great time with Uncle Pete.
It was great. Yeah. We exchanged presents under the big tree, right there by the Etowah River. It was just great. And did this monstrous roast beast, prime rib, slow cooked, melt in your mouth.
Oh, if it's a good prime rib, if it's
tender. My brother did prime rib and salmon, and we overcooked it.
Oh no, you can't overcook it. You got to put the temperature.
See, that's the thing. We went by the temperature, and it was like 140 something.
If you undercook it, you can't even cut it.
I mean, there was hardly any pink.
I hate undercooked.
This was perfect. It was great.
Roast beef. So your Christmas sounds
That's
perfect
Christmas
so far.
night and everything's great.
Roast
we pack
beef.
up, all the stuff, so I can go home. And driving back, pull in. Sure, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people. Everybody's out for Christmas.
Well, there you are.
So walk in the hallway, and it's like the hallway's blocked.
Blocked?
I'm like, the hallway's blocked. That's it. I got this big box. Great. Now I got to walk all the way around, the long way around. So I got the long way around. Okay. Why are the lights off in the hallway?
Oh, boy.
The lights off in the hallway.
Oh, God.
Okay. Open up the door, and the power's not on. I'm like, okay, well, the power's off. I have to call the power company. And about 3 steps in, splash.
Oh, pipes broke?
Flooded.
Oh, God.
In fact, they have shut down the entire apartment building, and it's a monster. It's
It
huge.
is huge.
The city has shut it down because they have no water. They had to shut off all the water because for 3 straight nights, boom, 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 different parts.
You can stay at my place if
I'm staying up in Canton with my sisters. It was a good 45-minute drive here today, which is across the northern perimeter, which is pretty.
Which I was going to say, it's actually not a bad drive
It's a nice
this week.
drive.
It's because no one's out.
Right, and at night, it's
there's no
lights are
today.
still out and everything. But we're talking 2 to 3 inches.
So this is while you had gone, while you left, and it
Christmas
happened
Day.
while you were to Christmas.
It happened Christmas Day. My neighbor got hit too, and we're just sitting there looking at it, and basically, I've learned my lesson: never, ever, ever leave anything on the floor from now on. Everything's going to be up on something because it got the couch, it got the piano, it got the. And then my sister goes, "Well, can you do your show?" I said, "Yeah, I could. I could stand in 3 inches of water and play with electrical equipment. I could do that."
In water with
you need to do it here?
It's going to take a hiatus for a week.
Oh man!
So we're going.
It's
the holidays. We're going to. So basically, after this, I have to go back there and stare. And me and the maintenance guys were looking. He goes, "Well, it'll be 2 or 3 days. We get the guys in here to get the water out. Then we're going to have to, move everything around." So that's what I did yesterday. Completely just going around moving things.
Oh, jeez.
Down to the storage at the end.
I was about to say, it kind of gives you
gives
you a chance to reorganize and kind of redo the place a little
That's
bit.
one way of looking at it. Thank you, Mr. Helper,
sunny side of the
Mr.
street.
Brightside.
Organize and clean up.
Mr. Rain
I
Cloud
got a-
Silver Lining.
I got a brand new
bullshit.
vacuum. Yeah, I got a vacuum
Where's my
cleaner.
gun? Where's my gun? Yeah, so that's why
man.
sopping my
that
shoes
sucks.
were so sopping wet. I put them outside. They froze overnight.
Oh, you're absolutely.
So the whole drive over here, I had the heat blasting on them, and they're dry now. But my feet are burned, basically. But yeah, it was just completely moving, soggy, crappy stuff, books
Lord.
and magazines.
You should have called.
I was already there, and it's just I'm just gonna do it while I'm standing here.
Well, if you need
Pain in the ass.
whatever, you would.
That's Christmas. And then last night I'm sitting there, and thinking, it sucks. And
I was like, he just went up into the camera.
Did he look at the camera?
Into the camera.
That's funny.
Anyway.
And last night's the 4-year anniversary of Bear dying. So I'm sitting there going,
God.
boy, this Boxing Day can suck my...
Yeah. This was my first Christmas without Jack.
Yeah,
for 13
that's true.
years.
It sucks.
13 years.
It sucks because you get stuff for them, and
I'm still, but oh man. In fact, have you? It was, I assume, the cold weather pipe snapped or whatever. I have my faucet outside my. I rent a townhouse, and I turn my faucet's on with a drip. It has been for several days, and I brought my plants and everything. But have you heard a dozen people or more froze to death, trapped in their cars in Buffalo area, New York?
27 in Japan. People died in Japan from it. Yeah, Buffalo.
There was a bad pileup accident too on the freeway. I think it killed 12 people.
40 cars or something. It was 50
semi trucks.
Oh my God! And again, it's
Cobb County says it's the worst they've ever had in water.
Frozen. We have Felicia. I have some people who are our podcast friends who the same thing happened to them. Come home from a party and they got a flooded house.
But
pipes broke.
May be one shining thing out of this. So I'm at my sister's house this morning, and we're watching the news to see what the morning show on what's going on with the weather, and there was Gervier Denza.
Oh, she's alive?
So
she's
not
still
only alive, she's
Channel
back
5?
in Atlanta. No, she's at 11 or something. She went to Washington, D.C.
She was
for
gone
years
for
and
10
years and years, and then she came back. And I'm watching it, I'm thinking, is she still married?
Yeah, she was cute.
Yeah, she's beyond cute. When she ran across the Georgia Dome field and jumped up into my arms.
Oh, my.
That was
well, no, sorry,
now
you got me all tingly.
so maybe I should.
You should call her. What's her name? What's her? How do you pronounce?
Gervier.
Yeah. Hey, babe, if you're watching,
she ain't watching.
Little cowabunga. Anyway, but this pipe business and the weather. Look at and by the way, Southwest Airlines is getting reamed by
they canceled
everybody.
70%, while everybody else is canceling less than 10.
I mean, I guess who wasn't ready for the storm? And they're saying, are they going to blame the pandemic? Nobody will work, and they can't find people to work for them?
Because Delta and everybody else was flying.
I know, but they're going to say, well, nobody will work. We can't get anybody to work for us. Well, then raise your salaries and cut some of the executive or whatever you have to do. I mean, it's just freaking the Democrats ruined all of this. Everything that's happened is because of the Democrats taking over and fighting Trump.
Someone pointed out over the weekend. Has it just seemed to you that things have accelerated into shitville since Trump left office?
Yeah. In 2 years, look where we are.
And you know why I get it? They realized, oh my God, if he gets back in or someone else like him gets in there, they will expose all of us.
They'll lose all
we
of it.
have to speed up the process of getting these serfs under control.
And those Republicans who voted along with the
traitors,
and a lot of them who were leaving office, all those people who retired voted with the Democrats one last time, even though traitors, treason.
Follow them the rest of their lives in every business endeavor they do and crap on it.
And Kevin McCarthy apparently has threatened to say if their names are on a bill from the Senate coming over here, I'm not going to put their bill in the hopper. Good. I'm going to punish them. We need to play dirty. I keep saying it. There are no rules. It's gone. It's over.
Hardball.
We need to take back control. When there are no rules, you can't play by the rules. This is not, marbles or a mumbledy peg or something. This is big time. This is the future of our country. I mean, really, this is the nature of our land. Anyway.
And this is brought to you by Atlanta Custom Closets.
There you are.
ClosetPro.net, 404-255-0589. Listen, guys. If you screwed up over Christmas and didn't gave her a Hoover vacuum or a toaster and you blew it, here's your chance to get back in the good graces and back in your own bedroom. Atlanta Custom Closets, ClosetPro.net. The women love closets.
They love that stuff. Outstanding. Let's see, more Christmas stuff. When do you take down Christmas lights? How long do you leave them up? Trees, stuff like that?
Well, I took mine down
of course,
a couple days ago.
But
normally, I used to wait till right after New Year's, and then I realized that the Greek Orthodox and the Russian Orthodox they settled Christmas on the 6th. So what the heck, I'll leave it till Epiphany.
Yeah.
So I usually would leave it up till the 6th or 7th and then start taking it down.
Now, Flounder, do you have anything even still up here around here?
Not really, because of Lucas, I took everything down. Yeah. So, I'll help my dad. Usually we take it down the day after New Year's, after the 1st.
How about Amazon? Amazon was running commercials yesterday saying, "Oh, take all your stuff down. This was nice. Thank you for having us." Blah blah. It's like, give us a couple days. Come on, man.
I think keep it up as long as I want.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
You got to wait. Well, you don't have to do anything, but I would assume that most people just leave it alone until New Year's,
right,
and
New
after
Year's.
the New Year. And then whenever you get to it, and again, I got yelled. My homeowner, who I rent from, called me and said, "The homeowners association why don't you take down your lights?" And for the record, this was last year. This was way after Christmas. It might have been in April, but still. But my deck, I have them wrapped around my second floor deck, looking over the driveway thing, and the deck is dark brown, and the Christmas string of lights is dark green. So you can't even see it unless you're trying to look to see what's on the top row of the deck railing. Right. From the road, you have to look up and see if there's, and somebody, he's got his lights up. Oh no! Karen. And I wanted to, I say, well, no, these are in honor of Black Lives Matter. How about that? So leave me alone. I'd probably put them up with.
Put BLM.
Yeah, BLM. Tribute to BLM, and Kwanzaa or something. Anyway, so I'll take them down. I've still got them on 24 hours a day, and I'll take them down on New Year's.
Well, there's nothing.
It's a big deal.
The Northside Hospital puts a big tree on top of their hospital, and that makes me smile every time I see it when the lights up. And they always shut it off before New Year's, and it's so sad because all of a sudden it's all dark again. And
by the way, if I were at in March or April or May or whatever, just to put a couple of like lantern lights. And a blue and a yellow and a green, whatever, on top of my deck. Is that violation of a homeowner's? I mean, what a bunch of horse crap. It's just nonsense anyway. Whatever. Okay. Now, do you guys have any New Year's Eve traditions?
Oh yeah, you got black eyed peas and some kind of greens.
Collard greens, black eyed peas.
Yeah. What do you flounder? Is your family?
Yeah, my mom would always have black eyed peas and collard greens on the stove for New Year's.
My final wife demanded we have that because she was from New Orleans, but I hated them. I won't eat them. But I'll do it. I'll say whatever.
It brings you money. The greens for green.
Well,
and
I always do it. I save ladybugs if they land on me. I try to kiss them and shelter them forever.
Those are poisonous Japanese beetles.
Well, that way too.
Turtles.
I want to finish my Mimi story to show how times have changed. Okay, freshman year of college, met this girl, went to see her. This is 1965, and I went to see her, actually the winter of 65. And I went to see her, and we were both virgins, and had stayed that way, and we made out a little bit. That was it. Then Christmas break came. She lived in Philadelphia. I drove to see her, stayed at her house, and we were making out on her living room floor under the Christmas tree, and making out, and everybody was asleep or gone or whatever, and we were alone, everything was gone, and I started kind of doing the old see how far you can go kind of business, you know what the deal is. And again, I'm freaking 18 or 19. I wasn't like 14. I'm was a freshman in college, so it wasn't like I was trying to do so anyway. So I'm kind of moving in the area of where I'm hoping to see what's going, and she kind of freezes like that, and I swear I think she said, "Please don't." But she said it almost sad, like, "Please don't." Like she didn't want to say it, but she was afraid, and so she was too nervous, and so she said it was sort of sweet and innocent, and there was no way that I could have betrayed her. And in fact, I know. Well, anyway, but that was the feeling I had. Was pow boom? Sorry, I didn't hear you. What's that? Honey?
You went.
My ear rockets aren't working.
What's that?
Hey,
what's that you said?
Harder.
Anyway,
I'll have to find it.
She was so sweet and so meek. And again, this was the girl gave me my first experience of what it means to kind of be a kind of a bully especially to a good-looking girl, when we were in the student union, and we were a bunch of friends and I, which was more amazing because it was in public with all these other college guys. And she started to get up to go somewhere, and she said, "Well, I got to go." And she got up and I said, "Sit down." Literally like that, "Sit down." And she sat right back down again and kind of leaned over to me and stuff, as though she surrendered. And I went, "Oh my God, wow, what a feeling!" And I know. It's
what
wrong.
you should have said that night. You should have said, "Shut up."
Well, actually,
different dorms.
Bill Burr does a hilarious thing on this on No Mean Nodes. So let's play this real quick.
Okay.
Here we go. No means no. That's another one. No means no. It's like, no, it doesn't. All right? Look, no means no. No, that means no. All right, but no, stop it. What are you doing? Oh my God. You're being so bad. Stop it. No. Yeah, Yeah, that's not a fucking no. That means I want to do it, but I'm afraid you're going to judge me, so I'm just going to make it look like it was your idea so you don't figure out that I've already performed this act with 40 other fucking people. Right? But then you go to court and you get a bad read and there's some guy reading it. Your Honor, she said no. Stop it. What are you doing? You're being so bad. Yeah, and you're just sitting there like, she didn't fucking say it like that. She didn't say it like that.
Well, it wasn't quite like that. but it was. She was so sweet and defenseless, and there was no way that I was. I was. And by the way, I was a very shy individual.
Is there a Christmas point to this?
Well, it was a Christmas time story. So anyway, so we done it, and so nothing happened, and we made it a little bit, and then as I recall, we kind of broke. We didn't really do much with each other, whatever, for the rest of that year, and then my sophomore year, I flunked out, and I was in a community college and whatever. So and I was gone, and she was still back at the university. So anyway, so I called her and said, when do you want to get to? Oh no, I beg your pardon. It was still the last part of that semester. And I had borrowed a car from one of my fraternity brothers. Phi Delta Theta fraternity brother was the only guy who had a car. And he let me borrow. I had to beg and beg and beg. It was I was on the football team. Anyway, and he finally let me borrow his car so I could go pick her up and be private and go driving around. And so we drove around. We made out for a while, and we drove around. And I realized, I for some reason, I never tried to go I was still a virgin. I never tried to go all the way with her. Even though it was, she kind of indicated that when she wanted me to stop because she was a virgin over Christmas break, by the time the next semester rolled around, she was no longer a virgin. And so it would have been okay if I had tried to go all the way, but I was so afraid of trying to push it again that I never did anything, so I gave it up twice to the same girl. I could have lost my virginity twice to the same girl.
Did you have protection with you?
No, nobody used protection. Anyway, but again, and that was my girl Mimi, and her picture's on the Kimmer Show podcast Facebook page from 1965. Anyway, that was but again, that was that was dating back there. Nobody was.
She'd probably let you now.
Oh, she's 76 years old.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We have newsy stuff, but I really don't care right now. First of all, did you ever talk about the series Gaslit with Julia Roberts, played Martha Mitchell? It was a Netflix series.
Watch that. No.
Flounder, did you ever hear of that one?
Never heard of that one.
Okay. It was just on Showtime. It was like an 8-show marathon for the last few days, and I watched it. And I was thinking that was one of those Netflix things you told me about. It was Julia Roberts starring as Martha Mitchell, and Sean Penn with either a face mask and a fat suit that really looked great, or they made him gain 100 pounds. I mean, he looked like a big fat pig to play John Mitchell. And wow, what? Oh, I since you guys didn't, I thought you'd talk about it, so I'm not going to talk about it. But it was a hard series. I mean, it really showed the destruction of that family, and it was all Watergate stuff. It was really, really well done and interesting. Although it had a lot of, she was kidnapped and they roughed her up to keep her quiet and to shut her up. And I mean, it was just brutal stuff. Anyway, one of the funny things was when they, at the very end of it, Julia Roberts as Martha Mitchell and John are watching the news, something on the news, and the newscaster is talking about Watergate, and the newscaster is the same fat black guy who played Ferd, the newscaster, on Parks and Rec. And I couldn't believe it. I thought, oh my God, of all the people, of all the TV actors, of all the actors, they get that guy whose last show was Parks and Rec being a goof. Yeah. I mean, it was so damn. Anyway, so I'm done. All done with that. Let's see. Holy Crap at Sports. I assume maybe tomorrow or
no.
You're probably not going to do it all week.
Probably not till next week. Okay. We're going hiatus. By the way, J.J. Watt's retiring.
Yeah.
Oh, he did. Well, didn't he get hurt that last?
I don't know.
All right, now refresh my. That's not the one who was going to retire and then came in back for one more year in L.A. J.T. Watts.
No, that's Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald.
No, he was a Texan, and then he's become a Cardinal, and he's realized that football sucks in Arizona, so he's going to leave.
Did you see they just suspended another guy or kicked him out for a hard hit?
Yeah, he tried to take that guy's head off last night.
Well, I mean, that's how you play football. And again, every time I see offensive linemen pushing somebody out of the way, I'm thinking, come on, this is what we had to do. We had to literally grab your chest and use your elbows and your forearms. But now they just shove them out of the hole. I mean, how could you not run 200 yards every game? I don't get it. If you can push the guy out of the way, how the hell could they not? I mean, I don't get it.
Speaking of pushing people out of the hole, Cindy is singing Like a Virgin at you right now.
Well, I was a virgin for a very long time. I'm still a virgin, actually. I'm an incel.
Did you ever wonder who she gave it up to? What loser she gave it up to?
No, I'm some probably scumbag from Philadelphia, one of those sidewalk street corner singer guys. You know, do up with the slick back hair and the
Fabian.
the Elvis ducktail haircut and stuff. Oh my God! Oh, Mimi,
How'd you know
come
she
on!
wasn't a virgin?
Oh, she was definitely a virgin.
No, the second time, how'd you know she wasn't?
I don't remember, but I remember knowing that it was clear that if I had wanted to, I probably could have gone all the way. I mean, she either said something about, or like, oh, I remember when you were so sweet to not force me last time, or something. You know, it was some kind of a thing, of a running theme or something. I don't know.
Well, did you insult her by not doing it that time?
I don't know. I don't want to think about that, you know. But again, you know, and now these days she would have said, "We're going to do this or what?" You know. But again, back then,
she'll be doing this the whole time she's talking to you.
For God, well, get somebody who's going to do me tonight. God darn it! There's got to be one man out
Hurry
there.
up, Raul's going to be here in 15 minutes.
Pool boy, if nobody's
Cabana boy.
Anyway, well, let's do a quick sports thing. In fact, here's your. I sent you a bunch of sports pages, and what's in there? The Franco Harris thing. Man, were the people of Pennsylvania and others ticked off completely because Franco Harris was supposed to have his big tribute that weekend, and the NFL Network cut away from the Franco Harris tribute to go to commercial. He died at 72 last week. It was a couple of days before his famed Immaculate Reception reached its 50th anniversary. The Steelers are going to honor him during the Christmas Eve matchup, retiring as number 32. It was on Sunday night. They cut away from the Franco tribute in Pittsburgh and teased leading up to the game by multiple networks. The NFL Network broadcast the Steelers-Raiders game. Viewers saw the NFL Network cut to commercial when Harris's tribute on the video board began. How the hell did the NFL Network spend the entire week teasing his Franco Harris ceremony, teasing it during the entire pregame show, teasing it during the game, only for it to be cut away just before the tribute aired? This is so sick. Pathetic job. On and on and on. Anyway, just you know.
The people making the decisions are probably not anybody who remember him and how important he was.
Well, even worse than that is just some guy with a stopwatch. Now, you know, I used to be a TV anchorman, as you know, and so I'm familiar with. Actually, for a while, I was trained as a switcher in the control room, and I've done a lot of things in control rooms and so forth to put a TV broadcast together. So I know what goes into it, and there's there are producers and people who look at continuity and stuff. There's a guy with stopwatches. That's all. Stop. Okay, ready on 4, take 4, and cue him. And I mean, it's not, this is Franco Harris. It's, ready on 4, take 4. So, yes.
Mr. Weatherman, where was our Christmas Day snow that we were promised? Last night.
Well, all right. I missed by a couple of days.
Ella J.
All right. But I was close.
You were so
and
proud.
It was certainly cold enough to be
sure as cold as a witch's.
I tell you what, Christmas Day up at the stable with that wind howling, oh man, it was freaking. I mean, I was getting frostbite from I had to put gloves on eventually. Anyway, I'm not complaining. It was a fun time.
Kemmer's prognostication skills brought to you by FarmhousePrintingCo.com right here in Sonoya, Georgia. Custom shirts and hats and signs. You can order one. You can order 1,000. Christmas is over, but you can get stuff for New Year's. It's coming up. Plan ahead this time for all your Christmas stuff next year. FarmhousePrintingCo.com, all your Kimmer Show T-shirts, your Holy Crap and Sports T-shirts, all kinds of good stuff.
I put the video up on the podcast Facebook page of the work they did for me for Christmas, those Christmas presents. I'm telling you, the colors, well, like they did for Lucas the Podcast's blanket with Flounder. I mean, it was just a beautiful job. FarmhousePrintingCo.com. You can see it for yourself, what they did for me and my family on FarmhousePrintingCo.com.
In fact, while I was cleaning out the waterlogged apartment, I found a box, which I'm going to start giving away, of Holy Crap and Sports tumblers that I had ordered. And had put in a box and then forgot about. So I'm going to start giving them away.
Every donation to Holy Crap at Sports. I do have a Venmo for your Holy Crap at Sports. Oh,
We'll have to figure out some way to do it. Yeah.
All right. Well, there you are. Also, did you see this? All right, you know anything about this?
Tom Houck? No.
I'm not making this up.
Well, he's been giving tours for years.
The Al Jazeera Constitution has a full-page story with pictures and everything. MLK's driver gives civil rights tours, and it's the story of Tom Houck.
He's been doing this for 10 years.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
That's how he makes a living.
I know. He was, by the way, we never really got along. I mean, I know.
I got along with Tom.
Everybody I know loves Tom Houck, although to me, he was always a jerk. I mean, I'm sorry.
Really,
but,
he was a jerk
well,
to
because
you?
of my wife, he was anyway, I think he thought she was a guy. I don't know. He has a sketchy personality and some immoral situations as far as whatever.
Loose, yeah.
Anyway, well, he used to help, our mayor sneak around and cheat on his allegedly my ass. He was in his condo.
Allegedly.
Anyway, but there's a huge story, but I don't know whether you get a kick out of reading it. I brought that in for you.
You know
to
what?
read.
He sold his soul. Because, look, he doesn't look any older than he did 20 years ago.
Yeah, he's always looked old.
What is going on
the
with
radio
this?
in the 90s, yeah.
He's been around forever.
Yeah, forever. And for some reason, and again, I looked at the paper again this morning, and as I picked it up, the first thing I say to myself is, well, before long, they're not even going to have the paper anymore. I have to go get it on my phone. And then I looked through the paper, and I realized there's nothing in there. Again, I came to the conclusion, again, it's all feature stories. There's no news. And why now? There's a thing on Tom Houck doing tours of civil rights stuff, which
they've
is
gotten
done for,
to the end of all their feature stories.
I
And this is
I
it.
think they dragged it out of the morgue of a newspaper morgue as old stories, and they just plastered.
Why don't they do one about you doing a podcast then?
Yeah, I'll be in there. I mean, I used to be in the paper. Remember with me and my
Buzz.
final wife and Peach Buzz with pictures of me combing her brushing her hair and the dog, our Harley, our bull mastiff, sitting there on the couch and stuff.
Hey, Flounder, what's the River guy left after 10 years? What was that all about? The morning guy.
The River, Steve Craig.
Yeah.
I'm wondering because he was one of the originals for 99X.
Oh, he's probably paying him
So I'm
too
wondering
much.
if he's gonna go back and work at 99X.
But why would he leave someplace that's really popular?
Again, I have no idea. But I heard he resigned last week.
Is this that that business used to be called radio? Was that what we're talking about?
The River.
Yeah. Is that a radio station? That was didn't we used to do that? I think
Wayne
Not
used to
anymore,
work
we
for.
didn't.
Wayne used to work there.
the River.
Yeah.
Did he? I didn't know that. After he left us.
Long time ago.
I'll be damned. Well, good for them and bad for us. Well, now, a couple of the quick sports things. Kathy Whitworth passed away. Kathy Whitworth has won more individual championships of any sport than anybody in the history of the world. She was a lady pro golfer, but I think she won something like 88 or 90 tournaments in her lifetime. Nobody in any other individual sport has won 88 anythings. Tiger, Jack Nicklaus, nobody has come close. And she died at 83. She was with her partner on Christmas Eve at a party and apparently dropped dead.
Now, who's this?
Kathy Whitworth, famous lady golfer. Well, you're not.
Oh, yeah, okay, golfer.
If you saw her, you'd recognize the picture. She's in fact, I think it might be her image that's on the ladies' LPGA logo. I don't know, but I'm not sure. It might be. Anyway, Kathy Whitworth died at 83, but she was at a Christmas Eve party with her wife at a party and died at the party on Christmas Eve. Can you imagine? And now I got to thinking, how come we don't see people just dropping dead on the sidewalk every day?
Well, we kind of are now with the mainly they're playing sports and they just kill over because of the shot.
But really think about it. All the old folks' homes, you would think. I mean, when my parent, it was kind of morbid, but my parent, when they died, they had a deal. My father, luck was very successful in his life, and when they died, they moved into a very nice old folks' place that had a medical section and a nursing section and a living, the whole deal. And they took care of you 24. It was a really good place. And the problem was it was very expensive. It was like $400,000 to buy the apartment. And then it was like $5,000 a month. And they took care of everything. Mm-hmm. But when you die, your family gets the money back for the apartment, or they can sell
Yeah.
it, and they'll. So in other words, it's a nest egg that keeps on growing for your family when you die. And my parents used to, I go down and visit them, and they were in their like 88 years old, and I say, what's going on? I said, well, we're just waiting to see who's next. And every once in a while, on the hallway table, there'd be a little pink card with a flower, and it said, Mrs. Rosenfirm died last night at the age of 94, or whatever. But you'd think, you would amaze, nobody just drops dead in the hallway. Or in the parking lot, or at Macy's, when's the last time you saw an old person just go, shit? You know what I mean?
Poor Rhubarb died in the Walmart.
Is that where he
Heart
died?
attack, yeah.
Rhubarb, but the only unpaid intern that got fired.
No.
Great guy.
Rhubarb Jones.
Oh, Rhubarb Jones. I was going to say Rhubarb, our other guy. Oh,
No,
Rhubarb
that's Rupert.
Jones. Oh, I didn't know that.
You're thinking of Rupert.
Rhubarb Jones, a famous broadcaster and country guy.
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I guess I
And
forgot.
didn't Captain Herb
He
die
died
in
on
public?
the street. He died directing traffic.
Yeah.
Trying to help a car out of a thing, yeah. But again, that's 2 out of 20 million in the last 2 weeks. So of all the people who died, but I'm just amazed that if it's your time, how come your body says, well, it's time to go, but I'll wait till you go
Well, it's
home?
like animals. That most of them crawl off somewhere
I
and
know,
die
but
alone.
why is there
So
something?
we do the same thing.
I don't. Maybe, but what I'm
How
saying
many
is,
people have you seen die?
well, a few, but not.
Where have they
I've
been?
seen. Okay. You talk about natural causes.
Yeah.
One, the girl who died in my arms, and I've seen
in a hospital.
In a hospital,
Right.
died in my arms in a hospital, and other people I've seen die have been from not natural causes. But if you're talking about just dropping dead natural causes, one, and I was with her at the time.
Yeah.
But
That's why most of the people die in a bed somewhere.
I know, but isn't it amazing? I wonder whether God or whatever put a little thing in there to say, okay, well, your clock's ticking out, so I'm going to wait till you go home, or you know what I mean? Why? It's amazing. Old folks are out everywhere. I saw pictures of Clint Eastwood at the age of 96 or something, doing his own grocery shopping. God, good for him, and nobody bothered him. And he's pushing a cart in his grocery store, Clint Eastwood, in his 90s. And I'm thinking, holy crap, he could just keel over right now, on the cart. But it doesn't happen. How come it doesn't happen that people die all over the place?
It's a mystery.
It is a mystery. I want an answer, damn it. Anyway.
It's not their time.
One more quick, and I'm being really stupid here. One more quick golf thing. That's why I was flipping out, looking at stuff, and there was this old TV show, Shell's Wonderful World of Golf. And it was two guys would play a golf match, and they would have a couple of broadcasters on the green while they're putting. A live
It was like
TV.
home run
Yeah,
thing. Mickey Mantle against Hank Aaron or something.
I know. Well, you had the home run derby. I used to watch it every Saturday. And Mickey Mantle would hit one, and he'd go back, well, he's really going to have to hit a good fastball here, Bob. And, live. Anyway, it's hysterical. And live, I will to golf. And the guy, I can't remember his name now, real kind of glamour boy, pro golfer, real kind of a dandy, all fancy ascot stuff. And he's saying, now both players on this 400-yard par 4, both of them are right down the middle. Their drive's 230 yards. 230 yards? That's a 5-iron for these guys today. And I remember when Johnny Miller was, I think this was like 1962 or something. And I remember when Johnny Miller was winning all his tournaments in the early 70s, where he won everything, U.S. Opens and stuff. And he would hit a 9-iron, maybe 120. A 9-iron today's 160 for these guys. Anyway, just how times
Their
have changed.
workout regimen was drinking martinis. Seriously.
True. And they pile 4 guys in one pro's car and drive to the next tournament and get hammered, and all the waitresses on the way. Anyway, but I thought, listen, that was 230 yards right down the middle. Anyway, okay. Coming up, I'll tease it by this: the Fox Year in Review. We're going to talk some year in review stuff. Fox Year in Review was on, I guess, Saturday or Sunday night. Maybe it was last night, whatever. And so I tuned into it, and Fox Year in Review, and they're saying the top stories. One, we had the so-and-so in here, so-and-so in here. When they got to the Twitter, our third top story, and this is, I'm going to quote exactly how the broadcaster read the Fox Year in Review story concerning the Twitter drop. Okay? Another major under the Twitter drop. The Elon takeover showing some content managers acted inappropriately in the lead up to the 2020 presidential election. And that was the end of it. Some content managers acted inappropriately to the lead up to the election. That's how they responded to the Twitter drop? No CIA, no FBI, no Department of Justice, no scandal, no. I couldn't believe it. Some acted inappropriately.
Cahoots.
This is Fox.
In cahoots. Well, Fox took money from the
Jesus.
government to push the vaccine.
I mean, I honestly, that was the last one. That was the last possible link to sanity and reality.
It's war. It's open war.
Some acted inappropriately. They performed a coup for 6 years with the FBI and the CIA and the Department of Justice and the Attorney General. I mean, my God.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Never participate with them. They come to your door looking for information, tell them to go screw themselves.
God. Anyway, all right, coming up, I had forgotten all of the people who passed away in this year, and we'll mention a few of them.
A lot of death talk today.
It'll be fun. Also, a list of some of the top cultural events and the top movies, and wait till you hear what some of the top ranking indices left out of the top movies of the year. We'll get to that too. Also, more on the Twitter drop, and Rachel Levine is a pervert, freaking freak pervert.
Pervert.
Oh my God, a grooming pervert. But first, I love my American flag. Flagco.com, man, I put it up in the morning, and it's beautiful, bright red, white, and blue, just like it was the day I got it from flagco.com. And again, they have the mounting things, even to be able to mount your flag on a brick wall, which most people can't even figure out at all. And it's not just American flags. It's every state flag, every country flag, every military flag, banners, open house type bow and arrow banners, they call them, stuff like that. They have lighting kits, beacons, and silver and gold flag ornaments, and they get them to you immediately, and the quality is spectacular. My flag, I have the thing where it spins around so it doesn't wrap around itself in the wind and so forth. Just really, really the best way to do it. Oh, we just got another Venmo thing. Thank you, sir, so much. From Lori. Thank you, Lori. Very generous of you. Very sweet. And Craig also. Thank you, guys. A few specials, and again, they still have them even though Christmas is past, but you can still get the Starry Night Flagpole Christmas Light Set. All the customer needs is a 15 to 25-foot pole, but they can custom build one for you if you want. They have the cool white, warm white, red, blue, multicolor sets. There's also a mini version. This is really cool. 10-foot pole included in it. It's all set to go. The mini version with all those beautiful Starry Night lights. They have the trailer hitch flagpole kit with either a single or double flagpole hitch connector. And they have a special 20-foot telescopic pole with a wheelbase, great for tailgating. It slides under a tire to weigh it down. When you're done, you fold it up in a little package, and off you go for the next time. I think they're still looking for workers. If you want to start the new year with a new job, flagco.com. Here's the phone number, 800-962-0956, and on the web, flagco.com. And we appreciate that very much. Let's see. Okay, some people who passed away this year. And some of these, I have to admit, I had totally forgotten. Dan Reeves.
This year?
Dan Reeves died in January.
I thought it was last year, yeah.
But I saw it and I said, oh my God, Dan Reeves. That's right, I forgot. Sidney Poitier. Dan Reeves was 77. That's a little close to Sidney Poitier, 94. Died this year. Dwayne Hickman, the guy who played Dobie Gillis, 87 years old. Bob Saget was only 65. Did they ever figure out for sure, was it just he hit his head in the bathroom and went to bed and died? Who? Wasn't that Bob Saget, the comedian? He had fallen in the bathroom and then went to bed.
And lay down and died in bed.
But they still think it was because of that brain tumor or something, hemorrhage or whatever. Anyway, Ronnie Spector. Be My Baby and Walking in the Rain stuff with the girl group, the Ronettes. Ronnie Spector, the murderer, 78. Didn't he kill somebody?
Ronnie Spector.
Oh, that's the girl. That's the girl. That's right.
The beautiful girl with the great voice. I sent you that thing over the weekend about Bob Saget and Norm Macdonald.
Oh, yeah. I don't think we can
God.
play that, though. Can we play? I don't think we can really play
Bob
that.
Saget is in the middle of telling this heart-wrenching story about meeting Dean Martin right after Dean Martin had lost his son in the plane crash or whatever it was. And he says, yeah, he had lost his son. And I walk up, I'm having a drink next to him, and he was very nice. He looked up at me, And I looked down at him and I said, and he paused. And you never pause in front of Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
And Norm said, yeah, you told him you found his son.
He lost his son, so I told him you found his son. God.
And the look on Bob Saget's face.
Oh, my God. Well, that sounds about right. Now, Ronnie Spector was the cat-eyed, beehived rock and roll siren. I remember. That's what I was thinking of. Ron. Who was the guy who killed us? Ronnie.
Phil.
Ron. Huh?
Phil Spector.
Phil Spector. Sorry. Ralph Emery, the Dean of Country Music Broadcasters. He was on WLM or TM in Nashville, or did all the country shows.
WLW or something?
No, it was WLM or TM or something.
WLM sounds right.
Probably Nashville and whatever it was.
Who knows?
Ralph Emery was 88 years old. Yvette Mimieux, 80. Where the Boys Are, Time Machine. Meatloaf, the rock and roll superstar, Bad Out of Hell, and The Dashboard Light, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Meatloaf was 74. Let's see. Howard Hessman, Dr. Johnny Fever, WKRP in Cincinnati, was 81. Louis Anderson, the large, oversized comic, 68 years old. He won an Emmy for Baskets. Let's see. Ivan Reitman. He was a behind-the-scenes type filmmaker, producer, and did the Animal House and Ghostbusters stuff. He was one of the writer, director, producer guys. John Landy. I don't care about it. He was the guy who ran with Roger Bannister in the thing. Sally Kellerman was 84 years old. Hot Lips Houlihan. A few more. Hang with me. William Hurt, only 71, was in Body Heat, Accidental Tourist, Kiss of the Spider Woman, Big Chill. Yeah. He was only 71. Wow. Estelle Harris. She was George Costanza's short-fused mother on Seinfeld. Bobby Rydell was a rock and roll singer who was more of a jazz singer, really. Bobby Rydell was 79. Volare. I'm going to rock and roll school. Was that rock and roll high school?
Who sings that?
Bobby Rydell.
Let's keep it that way.
Thank you. Sorry. Let's see. I'm looking for the for the ribbons. Liz Sheridan, the mom to Jerry Seinfeld on his sitcom. Gilbert Gottfried, remember, he passed away at only 67. Fred Ward, veteran actor, was in The Right Stuff, The Player, Tremors, 79 years old. Randy Weaver, the patriarch of the family in the 11-day Idaho standoff with federal agents 30 years ago, left 3 people dead and sparked the anti-government movement. Randy Weaver was 74. Tony Siragusa, I'd forgotten that. The former defensive tackle was part of the NFL history broadcast people. He was with the Ravens. Tony Siragusa was only 55. I'd forgotten that he had died. Mark Shields, remember him? He was a political commentator. He was on PBS Forever and Ever. A funny-looking guy with glasses, black glasses, and a comedian. Ray Liotta. Sorry, 67. Henry Hill and the Goodfellas. Field of Dreams. Vangelis, the Greek electronic composer. Chariots of Fire. Vangelis was 79. All right, almost done. Is that okay if I keep going here for a second?
Pele's on his deathbed, they say.
Oh, he is?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's been. I think he's been out of it for some time. Sonny Barger, the leather-clad fixture of the 60s counterculture, the Hells Angels Club. Sonny Barger was 83. James Caan, never liked him. The Godfather, Sonny Corleone. I'm sorry, Bryden Song, I didn't like him. I didn't like his acting, and I thought he was an asshole. But I'm sorry, he's dead. James Caan is 82. Tony Sirico, Paulie Walnuts in The Sopranos. And I think he was a gangster.
He's not dead.
79.
Paulie Walnuts isn't dead.
Tony Sirico, 79, is dead.
He's dead?
Yep.
I didn't see that.
Yep.
Really?
Yep. Larry
Well, that
Storch. Yeah,
sucks.
isn't that, yeah. Be very careful, my friend. he did this when his fingers. He would have the 2 hands up like this. Be very careful, my friend.
Don't understand.
And he was a mobster. He was
I think
a punk.
I blocked that out because I didn't like that he had died. Yeah.
Larry Storch.
Yeah.
From F Troop, Corporal Agarn. Larry Storch was 99, and still to my amazement, you remember the name of the Indian troop?
It wasn't what you think.
The Fagawis.
No, it wasn't that.
It was.
We've been over this before. It's something close to that, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
we're
that.
the Fagalis. We're the
Yeah,
Fagawi
that's
tribe.
in your mind. You want it to be that, but it's not quite that.
That's possible. Ivana Trump was 73. Remember, she passed away. Nichelle Nichols, 89, broke the barriers, the first black interrace kiss on Star Trek. Tony Dow played Wally on Leave It to Beaver. He was 77.
Gee, Wally.
Paul Sorvino, he got a tough on a beaver last night, Ward. Paul Sorvino was 83. Goodfellas and Law and Order things
Hard on
and
the
stuff.
beaver last night.
Vin Scully, the Hall of Fame broadcaster with the azure skies of Chavez Ravine. Vin Scully was 94.
Okay, you have your James Caan. I had my Vince Scully.
You hated Vin Scully.
I didn't hate him. I just didn't.
Well, I remember one of my things is, there's an argument now. Tommy Lasorda is kicking dirt on the umpire. Oh, I think Tommy has just invited the umpire to have a hamburger with him at oh, now you remember the name of the damn place.
The Brown Derby?
No. The one that sounds like, oh, God, I hate this. Again, it's a name. It's a name of a restaurant, and it sounds like Go Blank Yourself. Not Whataburger, but it sounds like, I can't believe it. It's a very famous line he said. Somebody on podcast is going to know. Somebody's going to type in here any minute where Vince goes, he's Fuddruckers. That's it. He's just invited the umpire to have a hamburger at Fuddruckers. If I can read his lips, that's what it was. But see, it's a name, and it took me a minute to get to the name. I remember the scene. I remember the microphone. I remember everything about it except the name. It's some kind of a thing in there. God. All right. Almost done. Anne Heche, 53, smashed her car into that place there. And they say she was not high, or I don't know.
She was.
She was.
She had cocaine or something.
And the beautiful Olivia Newton-John was only 73. You're the one that I want, and many other things. Len Dawson, Hall of Fame quarterback. Kansas City Chiefs. I used to watch him back years and years ago. 87, Len Dawson. Mikhail Gorbachev, 91. Moon Landrieu, former mayor of New Orleans, 92. I hate it. He was a jerk. All right, almost done. Angela Lansbury was 96. Coolio, the rapper, 59. Gangster's Paradise. Sasheen Littlefeather, the activist, 75 years old, the Marlon Brando Academy Award girl. Loretta Lynn died, the Kentucky gold miner's daughter, died at the age of 90. Irene Pappas, the Greek actress, 93. Ken Starr, former federal prosecutor and appellate judge, 76. Ramsey Lewis, jazz pianist, 60-year career. Ramsey Lewis was 87. Queen Elizabeth was 96. Bernard Shaw, former CNN chief anchor for 20 years, well-known black broadcaster and leader in the black broadcast community. Excuse me. Judy Tenuta. Remember her?
Yeah.
72 years old, she passed away. Gallagher, longtime comedian, 76, throw stuff at you. And of course, we mentioned Franco Harris was 72. Kirstie Alley was only 71, cancer got her. Gaylord Perry, Hall of Fame Baseball Cy Young Award winner,
That's
master of the spitboard, 84. Christine McVie, Fleetwood Mac, 79. Irene Cara, the Oscar winner, Golden Globe, and two-time Grammy winner, actor from Fame and so forth, Flashdance. Irene Cara was 63. Anyway, and there's a million more, but those are just some of the well-known people. That's a lot of people.
I heard a great way of saying about Franco Harris. He wouldn't say no to anybody, so he just kept doing the stuff because of this anniversary.
Yeah.
And he says he came home and he told his wife, I'm so tired. And he sat down in his chair, and she left the room, and she came back. And the person who wrote it said, and between that time that she left and came back in the room, he had gone from time to eternity.
Wow. Oh, my God. Can you imagine that poor girl?
And she comes in like, Franco. And he's,
Honey, I've got your hot chocolate or whatever. Yeah. Oh, God. Well, what better way, though, you know? I mean, he wasn't screaming and yelling in agony and with the family around him. So, anyway. Well,
does that happen a lot?
Well, no, but there are certain.
I'm trying to picture the last time I heard someone going like that.
I'm so sorry.
Hollering and screaming. Put him out of his misery.
No, that's not what I meant. Look at some of the. Here's a list from some.
If that's the way they go, I'm glad they're not dropping dead in the middle of the street.
I'm just saying, screaming is the worst way to be there when someone is saying. All right, issues of the culture in review. Some of the top moments in culture. See if you agree with these. For example, internet news and so on and so forth. The number one cultural event of 2022, Will Smith and a Chris Rock slap. headlines around the world for months. The star-studded crowd at the Academy Awards left bemused when Smith took to the stage and slapped Chris Rock for over the Jada Pinkett Smith business. He has since apologized and says he was going through something at the time. The second cultural event, Harry and Meghan.
Wait, before you go too far,
Yeah.
have you seen that Chris Rock's coming out with a Netflix special, and the whole commercial is like he's some kind of badass.
That Chris Rock is?
Chris Rock's coming out, and it's called what's this thing called? A selected anger or something like that. Oh, selected outrage or something. And
Selective outrage.
selective outrage, and they're making it like he's some
Is
gangster
he
guy.
seriously doing a tough guy?
It's supposed to be, he's supposed to be walking around like he's going to be Mr. You know, he's a
please.
rapper now or something. But it's supposed to be a comedy thing, but he's going to talk about you know what.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, for the record, I love Chris Rock. I mean,
Yeah,
in
it's
the
fun.
past, I think he was a trend. I think he was a brand new style of a whole thing. Especially as a young kid, I thought he was great. I always have. However, when he was the guest starring as the top gangster in Fargo or whatever one of the offshoots
One
of
of the
it,
Fargos did a good job.
I didn't like him at all. I never bought his character, and I just couldn't.
Here's the preview right here. Is it all visual?
Yeah, it's all visual.
all
He's just
visual,
walking
gotcha.
around with a scowl on his face like he's OJ looking at his wife. By the way, Rocco, a question. How many people that died this year are younger than the Kimmer?
Yeah, most. Most. Thank you. I appreciate it. I said Dan Reeves is 77. That's a little,
One day, you'd be just me and Flounder in here, and we open the paper and go, hey, did you see? You remember back in
the
Kimmer
Klimmer,
passed away.
Klimmer, was it? Guy with a girl's name. Had to make up a whole name for himself. He was so
Guy, you
embarrassed.
couldn't go all the way even with the girl was begging him for it.
Such a coward. He couldn't even beg. She was begging him for it. I tell you, she was begging him. Oh, God. Me. The second cultural thing, Harry and Meghan. Yes, the trials and tribulations of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. A documentary and everything. The first 3 episodes that Harry and Meghan recorded 81 million views, blaming the media for for her miscarriage, alleging Prince William screamed at his brother, a feature shortage of royal drama. Anyway, so that was Harry and Meghan, number 2. Number 3 cultural event of the year, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Another headline-dominating drama this year with a lawsuit. Depp won the case, and then she sued, and he won, and she won, and then she's going to pay him. And they've agreed to a deal where she's going to pay him $1 million, basically. And then, but it's not over yet. The 7-week-long court case gripped the world, being made into a movie. Number 4th cultural event, Kim Kardashian ruining Marilyn Monroe's dress.
Yeah.
Let's see. Kim Kardashian. Well, who will never forget? Fans the moment Kim Kardashian ruined Marilyn Monroe's iconic Happy Birthday dress. She wore it to the Met Gala in May, but was criticized by many for wearing it in the first place because it was the historic dress of Marilyn Monroe. Even Tom Papa said it was very disappointing that the International Committee of Museums released something that contradicted what a lot of museums are trying to do with their communities.
Right.
Duh.
She gave money.
I mean, my God.
Money.
I mean, who do you think you are? I mean, and by the way, she became famous as a slut.
Her fat ass ripped the dress.
She had sex with Ray J or whoever it was, and she became a billionaire. And her sisters became billionaires because she had sex on video. Yeah. I mean, literally, that's how she became famous. The 5th thing, and this ties into what we'll talk about on our next list, the release of Top Gun Maverick. I'm calling it the 5th cultural big thing of this, which is interesting given what I'm going to tell you here next. Dozens of blockbuster films were released in 2022, but one caught the world by storm. A film that nobody expected a sequel to, which, by the way, when you think about it, it is kind of unusual. If I were going to think about sequels, I'm not sure I would have thought of one for that because where could you go with it? But they went with it. I mean, somebody came up with a great idea and pulled it off. Exceeded everybody's expectations, raked in billions, breaking box office records. Kate and William took a set in the action. They get in. Kate and William, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, got in on the action, attending the premiere in London alongside their good friend Tom Cruise, and he's shown here with Princess Kate, which is pretty cool. And speaking of lists and so forth, top movies. But this is very surprising. And again, you can make up your own list. And I've never done this. I'm just reading off somebody else's. I got, stuff to do. You may look at the New York Times and Legacy Media lists of the top movies of 2022. Newspapers, magazines, social media sites flooded with their cultural critics' views of the best books and plays and restaurants and movies and so forth. The 10 best films, for example, shows how many of these people are completely out of touch. The New York Times. Powerful reviews this year, their 10 best recommendations. While quality should not be confused with popularity, critics at the Times and other journals must have decided that they could virtually ignore films that Americans actually paid to go see. The most glaring omission from the top 10 list of the New York Times top 10 movies of 2022, the one movie that is not on there is Top Gun Maverick.
Of course. It glorifies the military.
Why would snooty cineastas laud a film, the cineastas, the cinematic eastas, laud a film that not only got Americans back into theaters after a devastating pandemic, but also grossed over $1.4 billion around the globe? Top Gun did not make the top 10 lists of the Wall Street Journal, the Los Angeles Times, or the New Yorker. Atlantic Magazine gave it honorable mention. Only the Washington Post chose it as the year's best film, calling it a blockbuster. But again, all those major, it wasn't even on the list. Foreign critics gave it way more cultural significance.
The fact that a
than
movie
Americans.
about the American military played so well overseas just shows you people are starving for leadership.
know.
They want us to lead.
Yeah. This guy wrote one of my favorites he wrote was a movie Elvis, and nobody's putting that on very many lists either. Talk about Colonel Tom Parker's abuse of him and so forth. Tom Hanks was Parker. It was a big success money-wise.
I can't watch Tom Hanks. You see this new movie he's got out? He's an old
yeah.
curmudgeon. Who the hell's going to pay money to see that?
Didn't he just do one like that?
I
Wasn't
know,
he
he's
living at the
done
airport? And
two
then
or
it was-
three like that.
And again, isn't it the same old story that it's like when an old man and he loses his wife and he's unhappy, and then some young girl or a child brings him back into humanity.
Bill
or something,
Murray
and-
did one. They've all done one.
What was the one? Hell, was just that was Bill Murray, I think.
Yeah.
And it was somebody else. Anyway, I don't know. I'll bet it's going to be a well done movie, but again, I don't know
I'm not going to pay
that I want to
$14
see that.
to see that.
And that seems kind of weird. Some other major stories of the year. Obviously, the Twitter drop. Vast web of coordination between the tech giant of Twitter and the CIA, the State Department, other agencies. A massive series of tweets. The FBI was basically the doorman to a program of social media surveillance and censorship. The FBI doorman to the State Department, to the Pentagon, to the CIA. There were so many interactions with government agencies, OGAs they call them, the company couldn't even keep them all straight. Twitter had so much contact with so many federal spying agencies that they lost track. Is today the DOD, tomorrow the FBI, is the weekly call, or is that the monthly meeting? I mean, so many contacts with the secret agencies in America that they couldn't keep track of them. Executives at the CIA, one ex-CIA director, Chan referred to them as a former employer. Common Forum is a regular meeting of the multi-agency Foreign Influence Task Force of the FBI with Twitter and social media sites. Jesus, mountains of domestic moderation requests from state governments, even local police. And the Twitter files uncovered strike no one as strange that a Foreign Influence Task Force was forwarding thousands of domestic reports along with the Department of Homeland Security about material that had no business being censored by the FBI or the CIA.
Yeah. And people just don't think
Jesus.
it's that big of a deal.
And by the way, have you seen anything other than on Fox? And I can't count on them anymore.
Hey, by the way,
Acted inappropriately.
what's for supper, Grandpa?
Rice, chicken, and rice, vegetables, and steak.
God, it smells good.
Steak and right. Well, there you go.
Well, Flounder's Dinner brought to you by one of our new sponsors, NGA Intendency. That's right. Josh has got a company here. Are you tired of arriving to surprises at your weekend cabin?
Oh, boy.
Have a mountain home you're having trouble maintaining?
There's a raccoon in there.
Yes, called North Georgia Intendency. They can manage your North Central Georgia vacation, weekend, or rental house. You can relax at yours. So visit them at ngaintendency.com or call 770-595-6664. That's 770-595-6664. It's NGA Intendency. And I'll spell it out for you. NGAINTENDANCY.
We need to put that on the Facebook page.
Yes, we do.
Just so people know what they're looking for, because that's kind of hard. Name's kind of hard to get. So we'll take care of that for you. And again, thank you for joining us. And again, you can go to Venmo if you'd like to join us as a donator or a sponsor. PeteDavis1@yahoo.com if you'd like to talk about being a sponsor for a segment of the program. There's also PayPal and Patreon.com/Kimmer Show.
And Venmo. We just got asked about Cash App. What's Cash App, Flounder?
It's just another form of an app. I mean, the last thing we want to do is have 15 different.
Yeah,
That's
Venmo is pretty.
Yeah, Venmo and PayPal are.
Yeah, and we'll worry about the taxes if you. Apparently, in fact, I got a message here.
Yeah, we do.
What's that?
Yeah,
we'll take care of that. We're fine. Okay, back to the.
Actually, no. If someone would like to take care of all of our taxes and pay our taxes, please feel free to.
Thank you. Okay, a couple of newsy things, and then we'll see what else is going on here. Rachel Levine. Here we go again. Rachel Levine is that phony fake woman who's a freak and a pervert and a freaking admiral in the United States Navy. Isn't she the scumbag from Pennsylvania, the health director who put her mother in a secret saving nursing home so she'd be protected from the COVID when everybody else's old people were dying when they put them in with the COVID people and trying to kill virus? Yeah, that was her.
That's her.
She's the ugliest cross-dressing tranny you have ever seen. She's disgusting.
Did you see the latest? Well, she had an interview, and she said she's glad she transformed after she had her kids because she can't imagine life, or he can't imagine life without his kids. But in the same breath, he's talking about lopping little kids' blanks off so they can never have kids.
Well, here's what's happened. The latest is that this Rachel Levine, who's a disgusting groomer, a pervert, and a freak. And don't be telling me that this got anything to do with supporting trannies or homos or anything else. That's bullshit. This guy is a freak and a scumbag and a dangerous traitor to the American culture. Rachel Levine, my ass. He now has been caught, and conservatives are finally blasting him. He's with the Department of Health and Human Services Assistant Secretary. He's a freaking admiral. They made him a freaking admiral in the Navy. He wears a dress. He wears admiral dress girl clothes when he gets dressed up in his admiral uniform and a wig. Or maybe that's his hair, but either way, he's the most disgusting, hideous-looking tranny you've ever seen. He is now calling on big tech companies, social media companies, to censor misinformation about gender-affirming care for children. Yeah. Twitter users expressed horror that this government official, a freaking admiral, and the Human Services Assistant Secretary is asking tech companies to censor disputing gender-affirming care for youth as some kind of positive value. He addressed state medical boards in New Orleans. He talked about the need for the government to address health misinformation directly, including encouraging big tech to combat health misinformation about beyond the COVID thing. He claimed the country is facing an onslaught of anti-LGBTQI plus actions at the state level across the states, dangerous to the public health. And he says this fake woman, tranny pervert, continues the positive value of gender-affirming care for youths and adults is not in scientific or medical dispute. Bullshit. It's in complete scientific and medical dispute. Anyway, He's calling on tech censorship to quell any dispute on the subject. We need to use our clinicians' voice to collectively advocate for our tech companies to create a healthier, cleaner information environment to encourage children to undergo gender transitions. American conservative editors. When fascism comes to America, it'll be under the guise of health and safety.
Reagan said something like
Claremont Institute. His statements are worse than communist propaganda. Even the communists didn't promote evil like this. They at least lied to make themselves look more competent. This is different. They're still in the destruction phase of this nation. They know the opposition is strong, and that's why it needs to be shut down. Conservative Journal, you're not allowed to criticize Rachel Levine on other social media platforms. You'll get banned. Pro tip, what the government labels misinformation is really just information. We've come to that point. And this is unbelievable. And they're saying this out loud.
I know. They're coming for your kids. I don't know what else you can say. They're literally coming for the kids and the children.
And they're doing it. Tucker Carlson will name the hospitals that are releasing phone calls, taped interview phone calls with parents, fake parents, saying, "Can I get my 12-year-old child gender reaffirming surgery?" And they'll say, "Well, yeah, as long as the parents and the doctors all agree, yeah, we do that here." I mean, they do it. They're doing it.
Evil. By the way, on a lighter note,
Yeah.
talking about the new Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
Cindy weighed in with Kimmer needs to star in a movie like that. He's a natural.
Oh my God.
And Rocco, who would watch a movie about an old man complaining about everything? Wait a minute.
You bastard.
I'm here 3 times a week. Never mind.
Jeez.
I'm telling you, we should follow you around with a camera crew. Just follow you around.
Just listen. I almost got a guy the other day, man. I just, he
Just
wouldn't
ride in
like.
your car.
Yep.
Some poor bastard ride in your car with
That's
you.
right. That's right.
Scare the hell out of him.
But speaking of woke, here's one more. Are you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
West Point, the military academy at West Point, has now become the military academy at Woke Point. The military academy at West Point is now erasing the name and the history of Robert E. Lee, who was the superintendent of West Point. The superintendent of West Point, which produced patriot heroes such as Ulysses S. Grant, Douglas MacArthur, Dwight David Eisenhower, George S. Patton. We could go on and on and on. West Point. Now, with the portrait of General Robert E. Lee in his Confederate uniform is being erased from the library since it's where it's been hanging for 75 years.
Wait a minute. Why is he in a Confederate uniform? He wasn't superintendent in a Confederate uniform.
And they're removing the stone bust of the Southern general at the plaza. His quote about being fighting for honor, will be stripped and erased from the honor plaza. They're just erasing Robert E. Lee in its entirety.
Why didn't he have him in a union?
Well,
a
because
normal
that's what
U.S.
he's known
Army.
for. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. That's not the issue to me. I mean, I can see. Well, then erase every picture of every Confederate general should be eliminated in America.
Not at West. He shouldn't be there at West Point.
No, the issue is the Confederate uniform. And
Right.
if the Confederate uniform is so offensive to Americans today, let's erase every freaking picture of a Confederate uniform and every rebel flag.
Well, they're doing that.
Well, I'm
They're
not
doing that.
Well, you can't do that. We aren't freaking Taliban.
They could do it at West Point, I think, because he was in the United States Army. Lincoln asked him first.
Well, they're also taking away installation and commemorative bronze panels depicting U.S. history, including Benjamin Franklin and Clara Burton, are going to be removed because they have Robert E. Lee as part of them.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, come on.
That's ridiculous.
I mean, West Point?
Put a new uniform on.
Oh, I mean, it's just, Jesus. I mean, and then, well, here we go. And again, I know this is wrong.
Well, if you're a Southerner and you're thinking about joining the military,
no,
screw them.
Yeah, forget it. I mentioned last week about the Marines are now saying you can't say sir or ma'am. You got to say yes, Lieutenant person. They're trying. It's not happened yet, but they're trying to make that a now thing. No more genders in the Marine Corps. Anyway, so I'm watching a special on Christmas. I think it was either Christmas night or Eve or whatever. I'm flipping around. I see Fox has got the Fox Christmas special or something like that. And so I tuned it in, and it is it's West Point. Or it's the Naval Academy. God, I wrote it down and now I can't find it. Dumb. Anyway, it was either West Point or the Naval Academy. and it was in uniform, and they had the band, and they had the glee club, and so you see some guy coming out in they were singing show tunes, wearing a staff sergeant's uniform, a military, and he's going, "Hey, are you ready for tonight? Yeah, I'm glad to be here for tonight. Whoa, we know you love your crowd too. We're all here with Jesus and happy to be with you. Ho, hey, ho." I mean, I'm going, oh my God, in full dress uniform, dancing around like a freaking puppet, and it's all, "Hey, I'm glad to see you tonight. Are you glad to be here tonight?" Oh, jeez.
Come on, my baby. Hello, my darling. How about a
God.
ragtime gal?
God.
Michigan Team Bullfrog.
It's just. And have you heard that now Brittany Griner is asking all of her supporters on social media to support Paul Whelan, yes, the former Marine serving a 16-year prison term in Russia. And she's saying, you know, I want all my supporters now to get on social media and advocate for the release of Paul Whelan. Oh, Brittany, I support you so much. Oh, wait a second. You're the woman who refused to stand for the national anthem or put your hand over your heart. You'll never say the words. You kneel and protest against what America stands for. You hate the American flag. You hate everything this country stands for. And now you're coming back and you're grateful that we bailed you out of going to Russia's prison? At labor camp for 8 years or whatever? Jeez, screw you.
Maybe she's
Kiss
seen
my
the light.
Yeah, there is no light. It's not.
Oh my God! It's just
God.
darkness.
Have you noticed on TV, all of a sudden, all the ads for BlackRock and TikTok?
Yeah.
They're advertising because everybody's shutting down TikTok now. All of a sudden, TikTok is advertising
propaganda.
on TV. Their TikTok ad is, quote, "Find what's for you."
And they're paying all these celebrities big money to
That's
shill
right.
out for the Chinese military.
That's right. Absolutely.
So remember who these celebrities are that will sell out their country for the Chinese.
BlackRock and ESG and the Communist Chinese and TikTok, find what's for you. And also, in fact, what the hell? All right, hold on a second. Have you seen the ad? This is one of my favorites. Have you seen the ad for, I got it right here, for Lume, Lume. Lume is the deodorant for your private parts.
Yeah.
And the woman, it's a woman. Thank God it's a woman. I mean, you got to love the fact it's a woman doing this commercial. If you think you have an idea for a product that does not exist, think again. This is proof that there's already a product on the market for everything. Lume deodorant is an actual product and from all accounts a big seller. It's not just for your underarms. It's also made for parts below your belt, as in your private parts. One product, multiple uses. Who wouldn't love it? Lume products are all natural. All their deodorants are aluminum-free, baking soda-free, hypoallergenic, and are said to be safe for sensitive skin everywhere, including inside you, apparently. The deodorants come in a variety of natural scents. Now, this is the commercial of the woman saying, oh, it's great for your arms, but even more, good for your butt crack. And she turns her fanny and rubs her butt crack.
I know.
And for your, nature's window. I mean, your feet and your crack and your thing and your taint. I mean, oh my God.
It's a great product.
So first of all, if you haven't seen it, wait, Google it, Lume. It's hysterical. And it's very serious. And by the way, what a great idea. Who wouldn't want that?
It looks like a Saturday Night Live commercial.
I know, but who wouldn't want that? I mean, if you have anyway, especially if you're a girl, because if you're more sensitive than most guys are for that kind of thing. Anyway, here are the scents for this. Your private parts deodorant. Here are the scents: warm vanilla, jasmine rose, bay rum, crisp juniper, clean tangerine, coconut crush, lavender sage, silver spruce, and unscented. Be yourself, baby.
They got cream tangerine from the Beatles song.
I'm
Savoy
sure
truffle. Cream tangerine.
Unreal.
By the way, speaking of getting clean.
Yes.
So I'm at my sister's house, and they got one of those newfangled revolutionary shower things going in my room.
Oh, really?
So okay, I'll figure this out.
It's like one of those rainforest things or
Yeah.
something? Or is that,
Yeah, it's got this big square with 1,000 points in it.
you can adjust
that
things
it comes
to...
down on top of you like a rainfall. And seriously, when you get in it, you can't breathe.
Really?
There's no way of breathing. You have to step out of it and take a breath and go back in, but it feels great.
Are you serious?
It feels great. And then they have the handheld thing there. So
Yeah.
this is how sadistic my sister is.
Well, you know
She
why
waits-
the girls have that.
Look.
No.
Okay. This is for everybody.
No.
All right. She waits till the next day and gets out. She goes, did you figure out the shower? I said, kind of. I had to take kind of a cold shower yesterday. He goes, they're backwards. I go, what? She goes, the hot's the cold, the cold's the hot.
European or something?
Now you're telling me that. No, they just switched it the wrong way when they put it in. And then, so then the second day I get in there and I got a nice hot shower. Oh, my, this feels great. It's like a rainfall, a hot rainfall. Imagine that. And I think, well, it's time for the nether regions. So I want to turn on, you take a switch and you turn on the handheld thing, which looks like a big shower thing.
All right.
And you turn it on, and like a spitting cobra, it shoots cold water right in your face.
Oh, no.
It's like, wake
boy.
up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah.
So-
Well, that's
And she waits till after I take 2 showers to say, oh, did you figure out the shower?
I love that. And so when I go to visit my kids, again, they don't have a soap. They have that lotion or that squirting stuff.
like,
and the shower, you have to pull it out and then turn. I don't know. I don't get it.
And there's a stool in there, a wooden stool. And
Well,
I'm
so
thinking,
she can relax while
Okay,
she's,
I'm going to set my bare butt down. I'm not going to sit my bare butt
somebody
where
else's-
other people's bare butts have sat.
Before you, no, we don't want to. No, it's well, she's a girl. Girls have to do the way they have to do. With that, I mean, that's why they invented those things. All right, no, I'm just saying.
I tell you, when we went to Tokyo and stayed in that new hotel, brand new hotel there next to the Tokyo Dome with the Falcons, Jeff Van Note didn't come out of his room for like a day.
Because of the
Not only did they had seat warmers on the toilets, it was warm. It was a bidet in there.
bidet.
And he goes, that was the greatest thing I've ever
I
discovered
wouldn't
in
be
my life.
broadcasting that to my friends if I were you.
We were laughing our
Oh
ass
my
off.
God, Jeff Van Note, what a great guy. Is he still?
Yes,
is he
he's
still
around.
doing?
Is
Is he doing radio stuff for the Falcons or
I think
anything,
he
or
did
Georgia
something
Tech, or what's?
for one of the sports stations during the draft or something? I think he did some stuff for them.
Anyway,
yeah.
if anybody sees him or knows him, whatever, tell him we say hi. He's
One
a
of the
great
great
guy.
men you will
I
ever meet.
remember when we stuck on Blither and he came and he was he was just a great all-pro football player, one of the nicest men you've ever met, especially for an offensive lineman. I mean, just a very nice man, real gentleman. And he'd never been in broadcasting. And he came, and I was doing the morning show with Skinny Bobby Harper and Kathy Fisherman, Maria Moe, whatever. Anyway, and Jeff came to, he was just starting to do commentary on the sport with Larry Munson on the sports thing. He was doing some stuff, and he came to me, and he said, I don't know how to. I don't know what to do. I'm not a broadcaster. I mean, he was really very, very nervous about going on the air and talking about even pro football that he did, and it was like we all said the same thing. Jeff, believe me, just all they want to hear is Jeff Van Note. They don't care about anything about Brian. Just tell your stories, tell what has happened. It's like we're talking here right now. That's exactly. And he kind of said, oh, thank God, because I said nobody knows what they're doing. If you can just be yourself, and they'll always know when you're not. Just be natural in yourself. I always said there's no such thing as making a mistake. If you make a mistake, say, I correct myself, and that's no big deal. Nobody cares, and just have fun, be yourself, and try to enjoy as much as you can. And he was a great guy.
He was a natural. He was a natural.
Yeah. He was just a very nice man, and it was just a nice flow into telling stories and the reactions and stuff. It was kind of cool. This story, one quick story here, kind of bothered me. Well, it bothered me a lot. Remember the shootings at Underground Atlanta, masquerade venue in downtown Atlanta, Underground Atlanta. A DeKalb County jury, it was in DeKalb County Park, this was in 2001, Underground Atlanta rap concert. DeKalb County jury is now awarded $160 million to the families of 2 men who were killed at the rap concert, and they're making the Sony Music Holdings Company pay $160 million for not protecting patrons at the masquerade in downtown Atlanta. Gunfire broke out during the performance by the rapper Cousin Stiz. And four people shot. 2 of the 4 victims got rowdy and climbed onto the stage during a break. Another guy took issue. They had a fight. An argument ensued, and people started shooting. Somebody pulled out a gun and fired. 23-year-old guy named Jonathan Bautista has been arrested and charged with both murders. He got 20 years in prison. One of the guys he killed was just told he's going to be a father. But the family sued the concert saying, well, everybody endangered everybody. The guy who brought the gun and started shooting endangered everybody. What's a concert supposed to do? Strip search everybody? At a rap concert?
20 years for 2 people?
Well, I mean, go to prison for murdering people, but how could the concert be forced to pay $160 million because a couple of gangbangers brought their guns?
Well, it's Fulton County, one.
It was DeKalb. It was in
well,
DeKalb County, a jury.
That's pretty
but
good
still,
now, too.
I mean, what are they supposed to do? Then don't have concerts. Get out of the business. I mean, either at or strip search, everybody goes in.
Don't do it in DeKalb County.
Jesus.
That's the lesson I'd learn if I was Sony.
160 million. Yeah. Because they got in a fight, and the two guys. Well, I'm not saying they were asking for it, but if you're at a rap concert and you start fighting people on a stage, when you jump onto stage and all of a sudden people are fighting you and stuff, I mean, something bad's going to happen. I'm sorry.
That's entertainment.
That is entertainment. I'm fairly positive. But first, I'll tell you what's entertaining. Entertaining is when you get that broken glass problem on your RV, SUV, or your camper taken care of.
It's right up there with flooded apartments.
That's incredible. Thank you, Wise RV Glass. Wise, W-I-S-E, Wise RV Glass. These are the folks who will take care of you if you have an RV, a motor coach, a camper, a vehicle like that, and you have any kind of a glass issue, even a fogged up double pane window or a cracked side view mirror or a rear view mirror or those hard to find one piece flat front windshields in some of those RVs and stuff, and you're thinking, oh, I'm not going to call somebody to come and fix a side view. Yes, that's what they do. You don't have to do it yourself. And by the way, it's all mobile, which is even better because you get a hold of them and they come to you. They'll use your own window and your own frame, save you a lot of money, of course, save you time. You don't have to go wandering around trying to find some. I love the commercials. Bob and Mary were on the road and they got a crack in the windshield, and so they drove to the company 4 hours away. No. Okay, Wise RV Glass drives to you. No job is too small. A side mirror, no problem. No job too big. If you have a fleet of buses that got a windstorm damage or something, they'll take care of that too. Here's a phone number, and say hi to Russell. He's running the place. His dad, Carl, retired a year ago or so, and wishing him well in retirement. Great company, Wise RV Glass. Here's the phone number, and they serve all of North Georgia and all of Metro Atlanta. No job too big or too small. Don't forget that. Here's Wise RV Glass. 470 is the area code. 470-345-6521, and on the web, wiservglass.com. And thank you so much. A couple of quick birthdays. John Amos, remember him from Good Times, and then he was on Roots, and he was on West Wing. He played the Admiral on West Wing, and also in The District, well-known actor. John Amos is 83. The French guy Gérard Depardieu.
Yeah.
Was he the one who played like My Bad Foot or something? One Bad Foot? Or
That was Daniel Day-Lewis, My Left Foot.
That's right. Depardieu played a couple things. I played like Cyrano de Bergerac or
he did him.
Musketeers.
He's got the nose for it.
Yeah.
He did Rodin. There was a really good movie. He played Rodin.
He did one thing. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, Gérard Depardieu is 74, and Bill Goldberg, former University of Georgia football player and star wrestler. And what's he doing? Well, I wonder, what's he doing now? I'm trying to remember something. I should have Googled it. I forgot. I think he's doing something.
Did he
now.
play for the Falcons too?
I think he did. I think he was. He might have been on the practice team or something, or maybe for a year or so. Bill Goldberg is 56. I'll Google that next week or a week after and see if I can find out what he's doing. Instead of now. 1970, George Harrison hit #1 on the American singles charts with My Sweet Lord, and that made George Harrison the first Beatle to have a #1 hit. That song, My Sweet Lord, was originally intended for Billy Preston, by the way. But I thought it was kind of unusual. That I don't know why I wouldn't have thought George Harrison would have the first.
He had been saving up songs because he only got like 1 or 2 songs an album, if that.
Yeah.
So he had when he got out of the Beatles, he released a 3-record set.
Really, I had no idea.
And that's what he had lots of hits on that, and that was the first one that came out. It's a great album.
Yeah. What's another one he's known for?
Oh, he's known for a whole bunch of them.
There's another one pops up all the time.
Now that you asked me, I can't think of the names of them.
Yeah. 1994, a plane crash claimed the life of the president of Rwanda on this day, 1994.
What is love?
And it plunged. Oh, no, that wasn't his.
My Sweet Lord, Don't Let Me Down.
Oh, My Sweet Lord.
Don't Let Me Down. That's a ELO type with him.
A plane crash killed the president of Rwanda and plunged the country into chaos and a bloodbath, genocide. The Hutu majority, when he died, raised and slaughtered the Tutsis. 500,000 people lay dead when the president died in a plane crash. One missionary complained explained there are no devils left in hell. They are all in Rwanda.
Bill Goldberg does a knife show on the History Channel, according to Rocco.
I think that's what I think I'd seen that on channel 852 on my TV thing. Let's see. Speaking of Rwanda, in 1985,
Rwanda hour.
in 1985, American zoologist Diane Fossey, famous for her research into the life of mountain gorillas in Rwanda. On this day, she was found hacked to death at her research station. The FBI denies having anything to do with it. The machete that slaughtered her was the one that she had actually taken from a poacher during her 18 years studying the mountain gorillas. In Pakistan, 2007, former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto was assassinated in a suicide attack. The killer shot her in the neck as she left an election rally and then blew up a bomb that killed 24 other people. The FBI denies having anything to do with it.
That's overkill, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say that's a lot there, yeah. Shoot her in the neck and blow up the whole, yeah. 1845, for the first time, a doctor used an anesthetic during childbirth. It was in Jefferson, Georgia. The doctor was Crawford Long, and the baby was his. 1900, Carrie Nation staged her first liquor raid on a saloon at the Carrie Hotel in Wichita, Kansas. She broke every liquor bottle in the joint.
Carrie, Karen, same thing.
And the FBI denied any knowledge of being responsible for the murder. So, all right, boys. I don't know what else is going on.
Okay, got a new ketchup flavor for you.
A new ketchup flavor, ladies and gentlemen.
Would you eat
Yeah.
peppermint flavored ketchup?
No.
That's disgusting.
That is disgusting.
No.
Ketchup is ketchup. Nothing needs to go into ketchup.
Yeah, you don't want to.
What do you got?
That's not good.
Oh, okay. I thought you had something. You acted like you actually had something. By the way, we got a new thing in college. Did you cheat when you were in college?
You mean on a sport, on academics
On
and
texts
stuff?
and stuff, and not on thesis papers. Did you borrow other people's stuff? Did you copy?
No,
other-
yeah, I never went to class. I just,
Yes.
I never did.
You
No, I
did?
never
I did.
cheated. I did in prep school.
Well, there's
once
a
in
new
a
way
while.
to cheat.
New way to cheat? How you?
It's called chatbot. You know what a chatbot
I've heard, yes.
is?
I saw this over the holiday.
It's AI, where you can basically you can talk to an AI or something.
Go
like
write
that.
my paper.
Yeah, what you do is you say, "Hey, what are the themes in Moby Dick that we should most be concerned about?" And the chatbot will go, "Well," and it'll give you a whole, and they're turning it in. And as a professor up in North Carolina says, we got no way of figuring out
Tracking
if
it down,
it's done
yeah.
or not unless you have a logic and you go, wait a minute, because he said, first of all, I started talking about this and it was good points about Moby Dick.
Yeah.
Then it was talking about the themes in it. That was good. But the rest of it was pure bullshit.
Yeah.
And after a while, it just runs out of things to say, so it just keeps spitting out crap. But people
I
are
love
getting
it.
away with it.
Well, remember, in fact, it was just on. I've just taped it again. Social Network, the Martian Man movie. And remember when he's talking to his buddy, and the guy says, "You can't go over there now. You've got this paper due." And he says, "Oh hell, I'm just going to go on social media and say I can't believe that Professor so and so said this was really true." And he said, everybody on my social media account or who's in the thing will be telling me where I'm wrong. And he said, "I'll have my whole paper done for me." But people will be reacting to something he said and basically write his paper.
That's smart.
And I remember that line where he said, I forgot the example he used, but it was a great example of American literature in the 20th century is way too conservative or something. And he said, "Oh my God, no, the fact of the matter is," and he said, "They'll write my paper for me." He'll come back and it'll be all, basically just have to put it together.
Brilliant. We found out over the weekend, a lump of coal has been replaced by Santa with Falcons tickets.
A guy left 4 Falcons tickets on his dashboard, hoping somebody would steal them. He came back and there were 10 tickets on his dashboard.
By the way, thanks to Craig and Fred and Bill and Sam, if we haven't thanked you already, for all the lovely stuff.
Yeah. Yes.
And Dick Butkus over the weekend, all the bad weather.
Yeah.
I miss playing in this kind of weather. It slowed everyone down, and I was able to crunch some folks and cause some turnovers.
If you want to have fun, Google Dick Butkus tackles. Or old 50s tackling in the NFL. Those guys, holy smokes, they kill you.
How many
Take
billions
your head off.
have we just sent to Ukraine, by the way? Did we just send a whole bunch
45?
of
We've spent more money on Ukraine than their entire budget. We've spent more money than the entire Russian military
As well
budget.
as all of Afghanistan.
We spent more than we did on our own National Guard.
Yeah.
The National Guard was told their Christmas paychecks would be late because of the money being sent to Ukraine.
Thank you, Democrats. Thank you, Georgia, for your senators. Again, if we had voted 2 Republican senators, none of this would have happened. None of this, including the China kill virus business where people are now paid to not go to work.
Yeah.
All would be done.
For Christmas, we told you about the family in South Africa that had a boom slang in its Christmas tree.
Yeah, one of the most deadly poison snakes.
Reason number 4,000 not to live in South Africa. Another family there found a black mamba,
Oh, jeez.
which is about 6 feet long, and it coiled around the tree. And unlike the boom slang, which takes a long time to kill you, the black mamba will kill you in 20 minutes.
Well, I saw in the movie Kill Bill Volume 2 where she went into the guy's hut and Black Mama got him in the eye and he was dead in 3 minutes.
That's a movie.
Kill Bill. Yeah. Well, okay, it was a movie, yeah.
All right. I have in my hands
I saw it with my own eyes.
the Christmas menu on the USS Missouri. It was stationed at the Port of Spain, Trinidad, which is down the Caribbean, I imagine.
All right.
This is 1907. This
All
is
right,
what
sir.
the boys ate in Christmas
In
Day.
1907.
Tomato
USS
soup, which they spell Tomatoe.
Yeah, I've seen it spelled there. Like
Tomato
potato
soup.
used to have an E on it, too.
Olives, sweet pickles, roast turkey with dressing, giblet sauté, mashed taters, green peas, ice cream cake, mince pie, cream cheese, cigars, cigarettes, coffee, fresh fruit, and mixed nuts. That's a pretty good feast.
Nice, pretty
For a
nice.
ship?
Let me tell you, the Navy, and of course, Marines are part of the Naval Service, the men's department. The Navy and Marines have the best food outside of getting out of Paris Island. But when you go to your duty station, if you come in for breakfast and you say, I want 7 eggs over medium, some shit on a shingle, 4 pieces of toast, and some whatever you want, man. They feed you. They take care of their troops. Or
Unfortunately,
used to.
They also have on the menu codfish balls.
No. Sorry.
What the hell's a codfish ball?
More lamb fries.
Yeah, more lamb fries for this idiot. Ryan Leaf. Remember Ryan Leaf?
Yeah.
Crazy guy.
Yeah.
And had his troubles.
Nuts. Yeah.
Well, RJB wrote.
Quarterback, yeah.
He's a Jets fan. RJB's a Jets fan. They're not happy with Zach Wilson, the BYU
He's
guy.
got a lot of problems.
Yeah. So RJB says, I really can't believe we picked Mormon Ryan Leaf.
Oh, boy.
Ryan was paying attention. He goes, yes, you can. You're the Jets. It's what you do. So RJB wrote, Ryan, respectfully, shut the fuck up.
Respectfully.
You're worse than a Mormon that can't throw a ball straight. Oh. To which Ryan replied, I've had a better life than Jets fans the last decade, and I spent 3 of those years in prison. Respectfully, of course.
I forgot what did he go to prison for. Was it game?
All
fixing
kinds
games?
of shit that he did. That guy's still.
It was funny.
And they gave him 2 or 3 chances, and he blew that again.
Yeah, it was like Lenny Dykstra. Didn't he get caught like 15 times and ended up in prison?
Bad stuff. Bad Text Theater time.
Bad text.
November
theater.
21st.
November 21st, he said, as he's taking notes here. November the 21st. All right, we're getting closer. Getting closer. A week. All right, we
Almost
did the
there.
fan, did that.
By the way, we're doing a show Thursday this week. Is
Thursday.
that correct?
Thursday.
And we're going to decide about our schedule maybe next week of whether we.
Yeah, we can
things or
confirm
whatever.
that Thursday.
What's that?
We'll confirm that Thursday.
Okay.
All right, the husband to the wife.
Yep.
All right, what are you going to be, the husband or the wife?
I will be the husband.
All right, you start.
Wait a minute. Which one? Am I looking at the right one?
Lord have mercy.
Wait, November 21st is the police.
What? No.
We got 2 different November 21st.
We just did that. We did that, and it sucked. No one liked it. So then we did another one about the pancakes and the dogs, and everybody liked that, so we left
Dog
on
doesn't know
that
how to
one.
make pancakes.
So we're at the next
Okay,
one.
gotcha. I didn't know we'd done the pancake one. All right, I will be the
So
wife.
it's not just me.
You'll be the wife. All right, here we go. I'm the husband. What would you do if I won the lottery?
Take half and leave you.
Good. I just won $12. Here's 6. Keep in touch.
Boy, that was easy. If I'd have only known. If I'd have realized when she said no the first time. But seriously, no, it's all right. It's fine. It's good. All right, boys, final thoughts?
Yeah, off to see the wizard.
Again, if you want to do something in my play, or if I can do something, let me know.
I appreciate that, but my sisters, they're out of town. Everybody's out of town, so I get the whole place to
Well,
myself. So.
All right, boy, Flounder, everything okay? Hi to the family, and
Will do.
Kitty's doing good. And,
Absolutely, everyone's doing
all right,
good.
boys.
Yeah.
Hoorah, Semper Fi, I gotta go. You're killing me. Thank you. God bless America.